The Sierra Leone Civil War didn't begin with guns. It began with division. Welcome back. If you missed episode 1, stop here and watch it first. In that episode, we saw how the Civil War destroyed Sierra Leone and learned that the real causes of the conflict started long before 1991. Today, we're going even further back. To understand the war, we first need to understand how Sierra Leone was created. Let's begin. In 1787, the British established a settlement on the coast of West Africa for freed black people from Britain. Over the years, more freed Africans from the Caribbean, North America, and captured slave ships also settled there. That settlement later became Freetown. As Freetown grew, it became the center of British administration, education, religion, and trade. But there was one major problem. The rest of the country was governed differently. In 1896, Britain declared the interior of Sierra Leone a protectorate. From that moment, Sierra Leone was divided into two separate systems. There was the colony, centered around Freetown. Then there was the protectorate, which covered most of the country's land and villages. Although they were part of the same territory, they were not treated equally. People living in the colony had greater access to education, government jobs, and political influence. Many people in the protectorate had fewer opportunities and continued to live under traditional chiefs supervised by the colonial government. Over time, this created resentment. Many people felt the country was divided into two worlds, one with more opportunities, the other with fewer. As the years passed, more Sierra Leoneans began asking important questions. Why should foreigners continue to rule our country? Why couldn't Sierra Leone govern itself? Why should decisions about our future be made in London instead of Freetown? By the 1940s and 1950s, these questions were growing louder. Educated Sierra Leoneans, traditional leaders, workers, and young people began demanding political reforms. The desire for self-rule was spreading across the country. People from different regions and different ethnic backgrounds slowly realized they shared one goal: freedom. But achieving independence would require a leader who could unite people with different backgrounds, different traditions, and different interests. That leader was about to emerge. His name was Sir Milton Margai. He believed Sierra Leone could achieve independence through dialogue instead of violence. Many people doubted that approach. But history would prove just how important his leadership would become. Would he succeed in uniting the country? Could Sierra Leone gain independence peacefully? Or were deeper divisions already forming beneath the surface? Those answers are waiting in the next episode. If you learned something new today, like this video, follow the page, and share this series with your friends and family. History is easier to understand when we understand how it all connects. If you missed episode 1, go back and watch it first. Then continue with episode 3, where we'll meet Sir Milton Margai. In episode 3, we'll cover Sir Milton Margai's rise to leadership, the formation of the SLPP, and the independence negotiations. We'll see Sierra Leone's peaceful independence on April 27, 1961, before ending with the event that changed everything: his sudden death.